go. I'm not sure what more thing. I think I can set this so that. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'm just setting it. Hopefully the microphone is on my phone as well. That gives the meeting of the Clintonville Area Commission Zoning and Variance Committee. We're at 7:02, and we have a quorum. Mike McLaughlin had emailed saying he can't be here, so he has an excused absence. Do I have any objection to the agenda? I'll approve it then it's approved without objection. Draft minutes from the previous meeting, if you want a chance to look at them. If so, do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
For second?
I second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstains? So that's how many votes here? There's 7 votes here, so that's 6-0, approved 601. And let's see. Now, let's see if I can put this up. The committee's rule, the CAC adopted the rules. We made it with a couple minor. There was one minor thing that I added into that as I was looking at it. The decorum rules were really designed for the commission meetings, not for our meetings. And they said things like we would have public comment on any topic people wanted at the end of the meeting, and that's what that's for the commission. So basically, it just says basically we follow those rules as long as they're consistent with our rules. They approved the ADU screening form with a couple additions. You've seen the additions in your form, and since we're running late and have a big agenda, hopefully we won't need the decorum guidelines tonight, but they are. I will send them. They're linked to in the agenda to anyone who wants them. We took these straight from the city sent these to us. I didn't want to freelance something that might have First Amendment implications. So I thought if the city attorney's approved it, it's good enough for us. Demolition agenda. First thing, the applicant, and this is 4586 Starrett Road. The applicant seeks to waive the 60-day waiting period for the house, for their house. That's what it has to go through here. Notice was sent out on Monday. There was a snafu with the city getting it filed, so but our rules say that we only have to have 24 hours notice, so we have 48. And I did send it to the designated person of the Clintonville Historical Society as required by rule. Do we have any applicant here for that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We're looking. We were here before. It's been almost.
Sir, could you please state your name?
I'm sorry, Davis Osman, ASMAN. We came before the commission a year ago, actually, or close to, seeking a zoning variance to reduce the size of the rear yard for this property. At that time, didn't actually understand that we needed a separate Clintonville Area Commission approval to demo the existing house through the different iterations of the plans and so forth. We're now moving forward, trying to get the permit to demo the house. We've capped the sewer line as required by the city, done all the applications and so forth to them. We're here now asking permission to go ahead and demolish the house.
Just
to rebuild.
You're not getting permission, you're getting permission to do it without having to wait 60 days.
Okay.
If you wanted to wait 60 days, you can do it.
Okay. Permission to do it without waiting 60 days?
Yes. Do I have any questions? Do we have any questions for the applicant from the committee? Do we have any question? So public comment? Any public comments from the public? Then do I?
Do we have a commissioner report?
I do not. I know he's aware of it though, because there was a significant issue in making sure it was filed, and we finally had to. I think it was last Friday or Thursday. I emailed the city and said they say they submitted it. I don't have it. But we got that solved. So I can't remember whether I could put demos on the floor without a motion. So why don't we? Someone make a motion?
I move to approve.
In a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. That's 8-0. So this goes to the full commission, to the commission a week from tomorrow.
At the library.
At the library.
Perfect.
Again, so you can stay if you want to listen to the rest of us, or you can go on with the rest of your evening and get home before.
Excited.
Yes.
Oh, come on, I'm gonna listen for a minute.
Okay, now under the variance agenda, BZA, and I have a typo, it's not 252. BZA 25029, it's 162 East North Broadway Avenue. The applicant seeks a variance to increase the height of a 323-foot accessory building, a shed from 15 feet to 19 feet 1 inches. This is not a garage, it's a shed. I think it's the applicant here?
Yeah.
Yes. The way we work is you get the floor, there are no commissioners here, so they don't do a report. You get the floor, and we ask you questions, then anyone from the public wants to comment,
That's
they
fine.
can, and then it comes back to us.
Okay.
So you get the floor, just give your name and explain what you're doing.
Yep. I'm Brad Parrish. I'm the homeowner of 162. We want to put an accessory structure, adjacent to our garage, just on the other side of the yard. When we did the new garage, we came and got a variance height because the old Tudor style of the house had very steep roofs. So we matched that on the garage, and we want to do that for this accessory structure that's on the other side there. So that's really all. So if you can go to the elevation, you can see that we're matching the character of the garage, the new garage that we built, that is reminiscent of the Tudor house that's on there. And I think my wife sent some photos too, if somewhere in the package, if you want to see the house, just to make sure the character. But that's really, the pitch roof is identifiable for all the structures on site.
I can check, I don't think I distributed the photos, I'll need to go back and double check and make
That's
sure
fine.
the commission sees them. Do we have any questions from the committee? Okay, do we have any questions from the, comments from the public? Yes.
It's North Broadway Street, not North Broadway Avenue.
I put North Broadway's. That should be, since I live 1 block away from that, I should get that.
I didn't know that for years, and it was brought to my attention, it's North Broadway Street.
Okay. No, I want to get that correct. So there are 2 typos in the heading. So, any question, anyone else from the public? It comes back to the committee. The chair puts the motion on the floor. Shall the application be approved as submitted? Do we have any committee members can comment? If there are no comments, we'll proceed to a vote.
Did we have a commissioner
No.
report? Line item in my notes.
No, that's fine.
Just
No
go through
commissioner
your
report.
list.
I received. Okay, do it, call for a vote then, starting with Diane.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. North Broadway is short accessory buildings, and East North Broadway makes no sense. So thank you for coming to the expense of asking for a variance to do something that looks better.
Not a problem.
I'm sorry that you have to come here to do that.
Nope, not a problem. Thank you for your time tonight.
Now, moving on to 239 West Como, CD 25009. The applicant, is this the application you sent us a new list of variances? I can't remember one of these 2 I got a new list of variances. I don't think it's.
Wasn't that same?
In order to build a new detached garage with a 2nd floor habitable space for art studio, the applicant requests variances from the minimum side yard permitted to reduce the side yard setback from 3 feet to 2 feet for a detached garage. The garage height variance to increase the height of a detached garage from 15 feet to 22 feet 4 inches. And the one that makes this a council variance to allow for habitable space in the garage to not be connected directly to habitable space within a single unit dwelling. Is the applicant here? Yes.
Yes,
Hi.
we're here. Hi. My name's Megan Gabriel.
Gaberell is my husband Matt, we're the property owners. And the reason we're coming here today is because our garage burned down and we are looking to build a new one with space on the second story for an art studio. My husband paints, and so it would be nice to have a little bit of extra space in the new garage. The garage would be taller than our existing garage was by, I think it's 6-7 feet. And then we are also requesting a variance for 1 foot on the side in order to save our existing giant black walnut tree. We don't want that impacted at the back of our lot when they're doing construction. And then obviously it's detached, so that would be the variance. Are there any?
Well, then what we'll do is, we can ask questions and then we'll go to public comment. So I did receive one comment from, looks like a person across the street, 236 West Como, in full support of the application. I believe this, spaces like this should be allowed by right as they clearly fit with the neighborhood character. As Columbus grows, this gentle density and missing middle housing is so important to allow new residents to enjoy our neighborhoods as much as we current residents do. Well, to be fair, I don't think they'd have trouble making this into a second residence, but we can never know what the city's rules are gonna be next week. So that's also why your form didn't use things, the form was only talking about very specific things like, is there a kitchen, or is there a sink, because
Yes.
the city keeps changing definitions on us.
Oh, I see, understood. Yeah, no, there'll be no plumbing. We don't want to deal with plumbing, just electricity.
This is a garage, but there'd be like a spigot on the outside for.
Nope, we've got spigots on the outside of the house and the yard is so small, a regular house gets everywhere where we need to go.
Okay. And if you're here to speak, I don't know if you're here to speak, you will get a chance to speak whenever you're here to speak if you want to. Questions from the committee?
I would want to sink for my paintbrushes. I'm an artist, I would want to sink for my paint.
Yeah.
It would be nice, it's just not really within the
Cost
budget,
effective.
and we figure we've gone without so far.
Yeah. A lot of times I used to airbrush in the garage and
Yeah.
up against the doors in there. So a lot of that was what I was doing in there. So I'm hoping to use that upstairs space to be able to make bigger paintings and actually, have that open area. And not have it in my office.
So the side yard setback is, part of that is to accommodate the tree,
Yes,
which is hard to, and I noticed that you said there'd be a firewall there
Yes, that's in the plan.
in the plan.
Yeah, the original garage was 1 foot 9 inches off, and when it burned, we tore it down because the city had it as an unsafe structure just recently. So tore it down, and the tree, when looking at it, the tree is actually at the very edge of the lot too. So if we go
Right.
that close, we can.
So you
Encourage.
gave back a few inches
Yeah.
from what
Yeah.
you had before, okay. What else? That east elevation, that big blank wall,
yes, we talked about that with our architect, and they, the way I understand it, and from the staff review, is that by fire code, we can't have a window on that wall. And so, I know it's a big blank wall, yes.
but could be mitigated a little bit with not an actual window, but something that looks like a window.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just something
Yeah.
to break up the,
Yeah.
because I guess I didn't think about this too much, but one of my friends had a big garage next, and it's right in her
Mhm.
backyard looking at it, and it's just, when it's that tall, it's
Yeah.
kind of staggering. And so I've been noticing that and kind of paying attention to, can we do something about it without it being
Yeah.
actual window?
so more decorative elements.
Anything.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is like he could paint some kind of bird.
Well, you're an artist, make it
Yeah.
pretty.
He paints birds, so it would be a natural extension of that, maybe.
But I understand why you can't make an actual window, but like I said, that could be mitigated a little way. And have you been in contact with your neighbors?
Yes,
Okay.
they are
We
all,
got the one.
Yep. all sides, across the street, behind us. The house across the street that would be probably impacted by construction, they just sold, so we haven't met the new neighbors yet.
Okay.
But the back alley is L-shaped, and so everybody would still have an existing exit that is easy for them to get in and out of, that they would be used to, so. That we've talked to them about, and there's been projects various over the 20 years that we've been there, so we kind of, everybody has their own way in and out.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Anyone here to speak on this application? Yes.
I gotta say, ditto on the big blank wall. We built one.
Okay.
And after it was all done, our neighbors went, oh,
What?
I guess we can have a drive-in theater. And we show movies on the wall. It's like,
Okay.
and I wish that we had, even if we blew up a vinyl window thing, you know, make it look like there was a window there.
Yeah,
Or if we'd done a trim piece, you know, just
Okay.
something to break it up.
something to break it up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there, if we add something like that to the design, do we need to come back?
We do not do design review.
Okay.
So-
No. This is
So-
just,
As long as
one of
it's
my things now.
nice, fits the design and our neighbors, you know,
Yes.
they
Whatever.
agree, okay.
Yeah, that's something, best
That's
work
on you.
with neighbors and see,
Yes,
some people like
Yeah.
different things, it's all. If that comes back to the committee, any other, actually, there's no comments, so I guess it comes back, I put the motion on the floor. Shall the application be approved as submitted? Do we have questions or comments or discussion? I think we've had all the discussions on these. The reason, we've discussed these issues a lot in the past few months, so I think people are smiling because they know what the conversation is.
oh, okay.
Okay, then I'd call for a vote. And Reiner, you can give reasons for your vote that go into the minutes that the commission will see. Diane?
I'm comfortable with, no plumbing. The tree is a hardship by definition. We want to save the tree. So, I'm voting yes.
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 No.
Yes.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well, so that's recommended approval 7-1 to go to the commission. This will go to the commission. You want to put your reasons on that in the minutes?
Yeah, I will. Again, I am, as I've stated in the past, concerned about consistency with these rules, and we have no direction right now from the city, and until we get it, I'm uncomfortable approving any further additional habitable space or ADUs and garages.
Okay. Any other? Okay, then you go to the commission a week from tomorrow. Usually they don't get to zoning until after 8 o'clock, but I can guarantee if you wait till 8 o'clock to show up, that'll be the one time they get to it at 7:15.
Okay, thank
You'll get
you.
to listen to other community goings-ons.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
And the good news about the commission is they get kicked out at 9 o'clock, so they will be done by 9.
Yes. Library closes at night.
And I said before, you're welcome to stay and listen to the next one, or you're welcome to go home and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm gonna be, the next one I'm going to read what they submitted, and I believe they have, let me pull up the changes that I sent out. But because it's CV 2410 49 East Tulane Road, in order to renovate an existing partially finished garage into an accessory dwelling unit, the applicant requests variances to, and this is the original application, to allow for a single-family dwelling in an accessory building unit on a single lot in an R3 district. Frontage to allow for an accessory dwelling unit to front upon an alleyway where a public street would typically be required. Parking to allow for a single-family home with 2 parking spaces and a driveway and an access dwelling unit with 0 parking spaces, whereas 4 parking spaces would typically be required. And I will let the applicant explain the other variances they want. I'll try to get them up on the screen.
Okay, and I have printouts if you guys. would
Sure, what, you can pass them out and then we
Yeah, we'll give them
and
back
make,
to you.
so I can make them available, make one available to people who want to come up and who are visiting. And we'll try to get these back to you so you don't have to make new copies.
All right.
Thanks.
So my name is Philip Sauer. I am here to represent Josh Tomey at Side Street Studio, who is the architect of the project. So as you mentioned, there are some additional variances that are required to bring the existing condition into conformance with.
I'm gonna put those up on the screen if I can here.
So in addition to the variances that you mentioned, there's also the variance for area district lot width to allow for an existing lot width that's 37.6 to remain, whereas a lot width of 50 would typically be required. Again, that's just the existing
Can you
lot.
speak up? I'm not quite.
Sorry.
So,
And then 3312 R2 district requirements to allow for an existing lot area of 4,218 square feet to remain, whereas a lot area of 5,000 square feet would typically be required. Again, existing condition. And then the minimum side yard permitted to allow for the existing accessory structure to maintain an existing side yard setback of 2.1 feet, whereas 3 feet would typically be required in the western side yard. To allow for the primary structure to maintain an existing side yard setback of 2.8 feet, whereas 3 feet would typically be required for the eastern side yard. And additionally, to allow for new construction deck to have 1 foot setback on the eastern side yard, whereas 3 feet would typically be required. So a lot of these, this is, to be clear, this is an existing garage that was converted by the previous owner into a workshop. So it has not been a garage for some time. The garage, again, existing, minimal work to it, but it's to become an ADU. So it is addition of plumbing, kitchen, things like that, electrical, audio access. And then rear yard to allow for the existing accessory structure to have a rear yard of 0% of the lot area has to do with the ADU. And side yard obstruction to allow for the parking spaces within the existing driveway to continue to exist within the side yard setback. So the existing driveway for current zoning does not allow parking in the drive if the drive is in the setback. That's an existing condition. So they require a variance for the existing condition to be brought for current performance.
just so you know, Ms. Simber, I did send these to you, but you got all of these in the emails that came late. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. That was
Sure.
Again, I distributed these, I think, last night. That's part of the process. People often get changes in the variances requested. Let me pull up I have the exterior elevations for people. Even if these were not distributed with the agenda. If anyone wants to take a closer look, you can. Okay, questions there are no commissioner report and questions from the committee.
I have a question. So the existing workshop, did it have any plumbing to it?
No.
What utilities are going to be provided to the structure?
Plumbing, electrical is already there. The electrical will be updated because it will be an ADU. Electrical, plumbing, and I believe that is it. I don't believe gas is going to the structure.
Any other questions from the committee before we?
you heard what I said before about that right there?
Yeah, that is an existing, so as you see it, the only change with, besides repair, so the wood siding is gonna be repaired where pieces need to be switched out. We are closing in 2 windows because of the lot line firewall.
Firewall,
So,
well.
but I will
heard
pass
my
that note
advice.
on.
Neighbors,
Yes, so the homeowners reached out to all the adjacent neighbors and they are in full support.
I can say I've not received any comments on this one.
and sanitary services?
Yes,
are
yes, and they're
in
sanitary.
the works.
Yes,
Right.
sanitary will be part of it.
Thank you.
So this is a full second dwelling that someone could move into.
Yep.
We'll have a different address.
Theoretically, it's a great question. Theoretically, yes, because it will be a different, now what that is, I'm not gone down the certified address part of that yet. But no lot split or anything like that, but it would technically have to have a separate address.
Any other questions from the committee? Going once, going twice. Public comment? Yes, Ms. Ingram?
A 38-foot lot. We're gonna put 2 dwellings on it. And so once again, we're trying to put too many rats in just too small of a box. I think the concept is really great, but I think the lot is totally inadequate to support 2 households, especially the parking aspect of it. There's already hardship parking along these streets now, and this is very close to High Street. So, I would, I think it's a beautiful picture, but I'm seeing too much of it, and it's causing hardships on the other neighbors.
Any other questions from the committee? Yes, I was gonna try to pull this up, an overview, but I couldn't get it up quickly enough. This Google Maps is now giving me West Tulane. Now it comes back to the committee with the motion on the table. Motion, shall the application be approved with the variances that I put on the screen? Which, do I need to repeat them? Do folks want me to repeat them, or do you have? The one, okay. Do we have any discussion on it? Okay, then, we can vote again, Diane.
No, this is, again, without better city guidance, to me, this is too much. It's beautiful plans, but we're waiting for city guidance, and I don't even know if that frankly would help me. No.
Yes?
No.
No.
Yes.
No,
No? You say no?
I said no, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I said. Yes, I said that. I did say no.
Correct.
The chair votes yes, and I'll just say I went to the lot and it's existing, he's dealing with the existing structure, and it seems, even though it's a compact lot, it seems to fit. At least it seemed to me. I will urge commissioners to go look at both lots. Remind them they need to go take a look, because if we're going to be telling either applicants no or neighbors no, we need to at least assure that we've seen the place. Just, there are 9 different people, none of us are on the commission.
Gotcha.
I will never even suggest which way they vote on this. They're 9 independent people. So that's where you go next week. This is a recommendation to them, and then they make a recommendation to
What
the city.
was the count?
Oh, I'm sorry, it was recommended no, 5 to 3. 5, actually, I should say 3 yes, 5 no, and no abstentions. 3 yes, 5 no.
Thank you.
and those, and anyone else wanna put their explanations in the minutes before we?
I think I would echo Diane's comments about we need more guidance from the city, and even if we had it, while I think I'd be in favor of the variances to bring the existing conditions into conformance, the addition of another dwelling unit on such a small lot could cause hardships for neighbors, given the parking situation.
I'm sorry, you are the victim of the city's not coming up with a coherent policy. Well, actually, your vote here is a victim of the city doing. I don't know this is not, obviously not the final decision, but same with yours, the commission can go any way they want. So do I have anything else?
I'd like to enter comments that my concern is the parking situation. Squeezing in too much.
That is something to think about. Yeah, I think the commissioners, because there have been a cup of Joe's down the street is a cause of major neighborhood consternation.
Yeah, I will say, as far as the parking, as you can see, there is a longer drive. We are only allowed to count for 2 front-back parking spots, but I do hear your concern.
Well then, if there's nothing else on this, then comes to the end of our agenda. It's 7:33. Except I announce the next meeting of the area commission will be April 3rd, 2025, 7 p.m. at the Whetstone Library. Our next meeting will be April 23rd, 7 p.m. at the Clinton Heights. It's same right. Have a nice evening.
Can I ask a question before we officially close?
What?
The screening form that we have now is great, but it needs a spot for the address or the name or something of that sort.
Good point.
I'm sorry,
The screening form that we have now is great, but it needs a spot for the applicant name or the
I'll
address.
try to make that before the next meeting. I took the liberty of making one one small correction, which I told the commission about. I don't think they'd object to that being added to it.
I think it's a good, I agree, I think that's a good addition. I was going through the forms for this meeting, going,
yeah.
Okay, well then, and any other thing before I see, any objection to adjourning? Not an objection, we are adjourning at 7:34. Have a nice evening. Wait, so let me.
Let's just go ahead and start that.